A pretty interesting news story has come out today. Digital Homicide has decided to sue Jim Sterling for about $10 million. If you don't know the backstory of this, Digital Homicide made a crappy game called The Slaughtering Grounds, which was made out of stolen assets and had barely any effort put into it. So Jim Sterling decided to make a video about it, pointing out how terrible the game is. And so Digital Homicide decided to take the video down very falsely, and of course Jim Sterling won the copyright claim on that, and ended up fighting back against Digital Homicide, making several successful videos, some of which getting about 500,000 views. So after that, Digital Homicide decided to make several other crappy games, and Jim Sterling decided to continue making videos about them. Some of their games of which, under different names to hide their identity, Jim Sterling exposed this, and yes, Digital Homicide weren't too happy about this. So let's have a look at this lawsuit right here. It says, "Hi all, I'm unfortunately here asking for help. I've taken massive losses from false statements said about me, my brother/business partner, and my small games development company. The damages on my products alone are very large, including emotional and punitive damage requests. The case has been filed by myself without a lawyer at this point, but I have already have a lawyer to take the case. Due to the damages done, I do not have the funds to retain a lawyer's assistance. I've been falsely accused of stealing artwork, stealing assets, flipping projects with no work put in, doxing, having products misinterpreted with the intention to do damage, of legally using another company's name, conducting illegal business activities, impersonating someone, and being incompetent and unable to perform my job." So let's go through this. The first thing they've said that they've been falsely accused of is stealing artwork, which they have done with this blood spatter at the top of the screen in the picture right here, which was stolen from Google and very poorly edited into the game. So that one was pretty easily debunked. The next thing they're saying they're falsely accused of is stealing assets, which Jim Sterling didn't say. Jim Sterling said that they bought the assets. So, yes, that's also been debunked. The third claim being flipping projects with no work put in. Though, in my personal opinion, if you buy a load of assets and just put it all into one big game and don't really add that much to it, then I think you are flipping projects with no work put into them. The fourth one being doxing, which is something that Digital Homicide has threatened Jim Sterling with. So they've not exactly doxed him, but they've definitely almost done that, which so it's not exactly a false statement that they've been trying to dox Jim Sterling. Fifth one being had products misrepresented with intention to do damage. Well, to be honest, Jim Sterling is a game reviewer. That means that he is allowed to review games and say his opinion on them. If you don't like that, then tough shit. Your products weren't misrepresented. He showed your games and said that he didn't like them. So I don't really see that as misrepresentation. Sixth one being illegally using another company's name, which they have done with ECC Games, where they decided to publish their games under the name of ECC Games, and the actual ECC Games weren't too happy with being associated with that sort of stuff, so they've actually caused damage to another company, and that company actually probably has ground to sue them. A lot more ground than they have against Jim Sterling. Seventh one being conducting illegal business activities, which they have also done with illegally trying to take down Jim Sterling's video by abusing copyright. So that's another one easily debunked. The eighth one being impersonating someone, which Digital Homicide did when they originally took down the Slaughtering Grounds, going around saying, "I'm Jim fucking Sterling's son." And the ninth point being incompetent and unable to perform my job, which is fairly self-explanatory with all the points that I've made before this. And I've gone through all this, I'm going to teach them a little thing about slander. You see, something isn't slander if it is true. So they kind of have no leg to stand on when they're saying that this is slanderous. This case will almost certainly be thrown out of court, and until then, je suis Jim fucking Sterling, son.